DRC is in big trouble. They are about to make a deal that may change everything.
Poor African countries have the lowest wage workers in the world. And yet a company like Nike, for instance, can't put a factory in one of those countries because of the oppressive tax rates. Taxes have killed any possibility of economic development. They've killed any hope of these countries ever helping themselves. And that leaves them completely at the mercy of charity and loans.
The Democratic Republic of Congo has offered the U.S. exclusive access to critical minerals and infrastructure projects in exchange for security assistance.
In the history of our country. And don't let some of these politicians go around saying, because I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything, sir. And then I'll see some rebel Republican, some guy that wants to grandstand, say, I think that Congress should take over negotiations. Let me tell you, you don't negotiate like I negotiate.
Hey, this is Janetta. Woo-hoo! Yeah. And am I happy today? I'll tell you that I am really happy on this day that they call Easter. I am so happy. And I'm telling you why I'm happy. Because the knowledge and understanding about who we are as a people and how we have gotten to where we are right now. It finally, the picture has come to view and the understanding, but I wish I knew exactly who I was, but because of name changes and the brand that they put on my people, when they took us into the United States, or either some of us were already there in the Americas, how they took us as slaves, made slaves out of us, because they had dangerous guns and weapons and they were killers. See, it's a difference when somebody kills, but when somebody is a killer, they have that instinct to just kill, to rip, to rape, to rob, to kill. There's no competition for them. There's a difference between a warrior and a killer. And killers came across that sea and invaded our lands, invaded Africa, which is Al-Qaeda land. I hope I pronounced that right, because it's not Africa. They changed the names of our continent. They changed the names of our people. Oh boy, but I am so happy because discoveries are being made to tell you and me exactly who we are, so we can rise up above this mediocrity. We're being mediocre or thinking that we're not much, and it was only because of them that made us. Over here in Africa, I've had people to tell me, well, you're just so lucky because you're light-skinned. You're so lucky because you were born in America. You're so lucky that your ancestors were taken as slaves. You're just so lucky. I didn't realize the impact of what happened to my grandmother, or great-great-grandmother in slavery, and how she was used as a concubine or whatever, to sire children that would look light or white, so they brought in a higher price. It wasn't because the master fell in love with my grandmother. She was chattel. She was an inventory. He could sell her. He could sell her children. He could use her. Oh yeah. There's so many things that are coming up right now, and I have to give it to AI. I have some people that say AI is taking away our mental ability to think. AI is doing this, but I'm going to tell you something. AI is disclosing what you couldn't find out in years. I've been researching for a lot of years to find out the truth about who we are as a people in the Americas. And I've been discovering so many things, but that takes books and books and books and books, tons of books, and a lot of hours. There's nothing wrong with reading, and we should read. You should research. You should find out. You should feed your brain. You should do that to find out who you are, because that makes a difference. A lot of those young men we have running on the streets right now, their lives are destroyed, and the young women that are just giving themselves up for nothing and not thinking they're not loved and don't know who they are or where they come from. It would change. As long as we as a people don't know who we are, we're lost. We're praying and worshiping what we've been told, but not what belongs to us. If you research your history, you will find that the Black man, the person with this kind of complexion, the person and darker, much darker, where we come from and who we are. We are the original people. We are the original people. And we have allowed these people that are relatively new on the planet to come and guide us. They're new on the planet. We've been on the planet for hundreds of thousands of years. And I think they got a history that goes back maybe 60,000 when they appeared. But let me say something. Let me tell you this. Don't take my word for it. But what is happening right now is why I'm all up in air. We are bound to do what we did in the earlier years, in the 1400s. In fact, about 500 years ago. These people came and we had kings and kingdoms. And these kings and these kingdoms warring against each other decided that these people that came from these other countries that offered them and said, you know, I can help you overtake that kingdom. I can help you do this. I'll use my guns. I'll do this. You do for me and I'll do for you. They never even thought that the people they allowed to be sold as slaves would be kept as slaves for entire lives and mistreated, because that wasn't in their custom. And they believed. They didn't see, they didn't know. They did not know. But right now, what is happening with one of our chief advisors, one of our presidents, Felix, he's the president of DRC, the Republic of Congo. Right now, what he is doing, he's calling for Donald Trump, who knows nothing about us and thinks nothing of Africa, to come over here and help him to conquer people that are his own people. He's calling him to come and he's saying to him, I will give you everything I got.
In the history of our country. And don't let some of these politicians go around saying, you know, because I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make it here. Please, sir, make it here. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
President Felix Tshisekedi of the Democratic Republic of the Congo has a powerful ally in U.S. President Donald Trump, who on Thursday demanded Rwanda immediately withdraws its troops from the DRC and that the rebel group M23 lays down its arms.
Now, President Tshisekedi and I discussed a minerals deal. Of course, we need a more stable environment to achieve this objective.
President Tshisekedi has been dangling the carrot of minerals at President Trump in a strategy to outsmart President Paul Kagame, with whom he has engaged in a war of words prior to a meeting in Qatar last month and alleged armed conflict.
The U.S. position is that the M23 must lay down their arms and Rwandan forces must withdraw from the DRC. So the United States does have quite a bit of tools at its disposal that it can and will use if need be.
Can you talk about the discussions for a deal with your country?
Très bien, merci. Thank you very much. Good evening to you. We are looking for partnerships, and we have established partnerships with many other countries, and we think the United States of America, given its role and influence around the world, is an important partner to have. And we are very happy to see that with the Trump administration, things are moving a lot faster on both sides.
Untapped deposits are worth an estimated $24 trillion. What would you need to happen to move forward with that relationship?
We want to extract these minerals, but also process them, as this would create a lot of jobs. And we want a partnership that will provide lasting peace and stability for our countries, which we need.
It's a dangerous place, the Congo. How would a U.S. company guarantee safety on the ground?
We can build our defense and security capabilities. And I think that the U.S. is able to use either pressure or sanctions to make sure that armed groups who are in the DRC can be kept at bay.
If you come and help me, that's why we've been sold out, because of leaders like him. What are we going to do about that? Are you just going to sit by and say, well, you know, that's the way it's in God's plan. God is in control. Yeah. Yeah, you do that. You do that. You do that. You got the control. You think the way you think because that's what they told you. They told you to worship and praise their God, and I can prove it.
The story of Christianity in Africa began in earnest with the Portuguese exploration of the continent in the 15th century. As explorers sought new trade routes and wealth, missionaries accompanied them, aiming to convert African societies to Christianity. This relationship between trade, colonization, and religious conversion became more pronounced with the arrival of other European powers, such as the British, French, and Dutch, in subsequent centuries. For over 500 years, the mechanisms of imperialism and colonialism thrived on these religious foundations, keeping Africa in a state of subjugation. The Berlin Conference of 1884-1885, where European powers convened to partition Africa among themselves, epitomized the intersection of imperialism and religious mission. This conference, devoid of African representation, laid the groundwork for colonial rule, disrupting traditional societies and entrenching European dominance.
And I know some of you will say, Janetta, Antichrist, all that kind of stuff. You know, that wasn't even in our view. The reason why we don't worship is we worshiped prior to their invasions, prior to their enslavement, is because they had a fear of what we worshiped because they saw power in it. So they disempowered us and gave me what they wanted us to have to control us. Yeah. Prove me wrong. You look up your history and prove me wrong. But I can prove myself right. So what are we going to do? Are we going to allow this president of the Republic of Congo, DRC, to call on Donald Trump, a European out of Germany? That's where his history comes from. He was a Trump before he was a Trump. And you read what that name means. Yes. The power of names. The power of knowing who you are. He knows who he is, but do we know who we are? The arrogance. Okay, hey, to be continued. Yeah, so hang in there. I got a few clips that I want you to look at and follow because things are happening. Things are happening. All right. This is Janetta. If you're interested in listening to more, please subscribe. If you think what I'm saying is stimulating you, please like it. We're going to have a talk when we get together and we talk about this thing. And we make a change. All we have to do, we don't have to fight anybody but ourselves. We have to know who we are. Whatever tribe or whatever kingdom you came from here in Africa, we are royalty. Priests and kings. We are royalty. Yeah. Okay. Please share it. Invite people to come in. Invite people to search and research our ancient history. You can use either program, AI program. You'd be surprised what you learn. You'll learn what is the true Israel. You'll learn, yes, the true meaning of a lot of things and why they were changed. Okay, let's don't stay ignorant. Woo, yeah. This is Janetta. Talk to you later. Woo, yeah. Love you, love you, love you. Hey, this is Janetta, and you're watching Africa Speaks